Carpe diem, my name is Ultranatic, and here's the final Total Drama vlog for Total Drama Island 2024. And for all we know, it might be the last one ever. Fingers crossed it isn't, but that being said, we have our finale for season 2, and it's for the episode titled Soar Losers, spelled S-O-A-R. It is quite a dynamic finale. I actually loved watching it. I know the results are a little bit... people are kind of split as far as the results go, but personally, because there's something I like about every single contestant, I think I would have been okay with most any outcome. And yeah, there's things about each contestant that I didn't care for necessarily at the same time, but not to a point where I think it makes them bad characters. I still think they're absolutely stellar. I love them. I love this cast. I love this season. Let's just get right to it. It opens with Julia and Caleb bickering because it's been a lot like that for the season. And then Caleb interjecting and saying like, I want to be a part of this. So I'm going to use my angry voice too. It's kind of adorable. What am I going to say? And we see what their motivations would be for the money. With Caleb saying he'd give it to charities. We see Julia would make a podcast with MK just to troll celebrities, which I think is really funny. And Wayne forgot there's even the prize. I'm not gonna lie, that is actually pretty funny. We see the eliminated contestants are brought back, except for Scary Girl. Boo. Oh, whatever. And they all get to pick what team, or what finalists that they are going to be supporting in this finale. Big shocker, most of them go to 2 specific contestants. You got Caleb, who gets Millie, Priya, Damien, Emma, and Nichelle, who are less pro-Caleb and more just anti-Julia. Presumably just don't have a lot of stock in Wayne, as opposed to Wayne, who has 6 actually devoted followers in obviously Raj and obviously Bowie, as well as Caleb, Ripper, and Axel. Basically the classic frat house group, except for probably Bowie. I'm not entirely sure how much he'd fit there. Maybe he would. I mean, he seems comfortable enough as is. I think I heard 1 or 2 people saying like, wait, Axel wouldn't be part of a fraternity. She would kick a lot of their asses. Yes, she would be a part of it. I'm just saying, like, it works enough for me, and I think it's actually a really fun bunch. Which, of course, leaves Julia with just MK. Should we be surprised? I'm not. And they're given their final challenge, which is, of course, a 3-part race. One is holding their entire team in a wagon and pulling it themselves, which actually gives Julia a distinct advantage because it's just MK. That makes it easier. Through a bunch of distractions until they get to part 2, which is a tightrope over a large gorge with water and a bunch of dangerous animals, even some who can't swim, like the Velociraptor being down there. And then finally, a jump off a mountain with to glide down to the finish line at the Dock of Shame. And the first one there will win the $1 million. By the way, I didn't mention this, but given the last season, it was there was still a proper 3rd place elimination in the finale. It is kind of cool seeing it. It's straight up just like, hey, all 3 of you, it's all up for grabs. I actually did like a little bit of that variety there. So, we see Wayne put himself in a hole pretty damn quickly. A literal hole, no less. And we see MK messing with Julia about, hey, you want to check out those phones over there that were confiscated by you from, by Chris? I can't imagine she would. She has like a dozen phones. Like, didn't we sort of establish that they freaking stopped with that? I don't know. And Z gets distracted for Wayne with a lot of pizza. Yeah, that dude is so high. Z, but I'm not gonna rule out Wayne. But Z, so high. Julia makes it to part 2 first, and we learn that there is another aspect to this particular part. Along with getting across the tightrope, opposing teams can fire t-shirt cannons at you, which, by the way, I like that. It's a safer idea for a weapon than, like, anything else, but it can still drop them down into the gorge. If they get down there, they gotta climb all the way back up and try again, and so on and so forth. So Julia / MK have a little bit of a buffer, but then Scary Girl shows in. That's what I'm talking about. Now, apparently she wasn't allowed to come back because she can't play well with others. That's a fair hit. And she quite eagerly asks for MK's t-shirt cannon. Okay, I was on Kale about this stuff. When he did stuff that I thought was unrealistically stupid, I call him out for it. I'm gonna call MK for this. She gives it to her. I mean, skeptically, but she does. And I'm like, okay, they do make a funny joke about how, well, hey, like, in hindsight, it was a bad idea, but in the moment, yeah, it was still a bad idea. That's funny. It's still no less stupid. Like, you can make a funny joke out of it all you want to, but why would MK allow that? The cannon is in your hands. Actually, why'd Scary Girl even ask? Aren't there a lot of them around or something? Like, I think I missed something. Whatever. It's still fun to see that. We see Caleb arrive next, and we see MK then ask Scary Girl for the cannon back, to which Scary Girl's like, let's ask the cannon. Oh, boo. Cannon says no. Man, I am never gonna get enough of that character. It's so beautiful. Cannon says no. That is so badass and funny and memeable all at the same time without even trying. It's all from that character. There's just a long list of characters from this entire franchise that deserve their own spin-off show. Her, you got Izzy, you got Dawn, just all my favorite characters. Give them all their own spin-off show. Put them in a house together and just have them live. Who cares about competing? Just make it like Total Drama's version of like the real world. We don't need to be a competition, just have them interact. I love this idea. Somebody make it happen. Whatever. Of course, Caleb's team was instantly on Julia, because of course they would be. But they aren't any more helpful to Caleb about, ignoring that it's a long, deep gorge and whatnot. Which I'll admit is a little bit funny. We even see Scarago get dropped into the water at one point. And you know how I thought was really badass when Axel just shoot away a bunch of sharks with just her finger? Scary Girl just hisses at these animals. And they all back away. You could not do a damn thing wrong with this character if you tried to. It warms my heart. My heart's over here. Whatever. We then see Wayne arrive at an ice cream bar, and Raj fails to get him back in the game for that. And Bowie's like, okay, I'm going to have to step in as a coach, which he does so quite successfully. And we get a confessional from Raj going, isn't he great? Please get married and live a long 100-year life together. Y'all are perfect for each other. It's beautiful. Again, when I'm smiling this much, you know the family's doing something right. So, just put these characters together. It's a fantastic combination. So we see MK try to get Julia back in the running a little bit, and we hear her say, buckle up for anarchy. I love these lines so much. More of this, please. And she fires at the other characters. Julia falls into the gorge again and gets her hair bitten off by the Velociraptor, and it becomes a mullet. Oh, man. Honestly, she pulls off a lot better than you might think, but it's one of those things where it's like, ooh, this is just like what happened to Heather. Is it just a straight-up callback to that? Maybe. I don't mind, because I think it's just incredibly funny. So, and it's still very cathartic at the same time. She punches the raptor. More of these contestants being badasses to vicious animals. Just give me that. I don't care about anything else. It's like, that's all I need for this show to be great. And then she does like a superhero landing to the other side of the gorge. That is also quite awesome. Again, I might have had like a handful of small problems with episodes in the past. This finale is already killing it. I love it. So, she makes it to part 3 first. Wayne gets to the ledge, and the others falter in trying to fire things at him. They're like, but it's Wayne. We all like Wayne. And I believe I compared Wayne to Cody in the last episode and how it's kind of remarkable he made it as far as he did. There is something else about Wayne that has him and Cody, has me comparing those two together. It's that Wayne is seen as outright more of the hero who people actually want to root for sake of rooting for them. Only in Wayne's case, I actually understand it a lot better. Not that I hate Cody, but on Gwen's hair. Yeah, Wayne didn't do anything like that. So, yeah, by default, I like Wayne better than Cody. Maybe not the highest bar clear, but it's there. I like Wayne better than Cody. So at the very least, I get why that's the perception he's gotten from people. Raj, however, does fire a t-shirt cannon at Wayne, and Bowie's like, well, wait, that's bad, it'll make him lose. But Wayne's like, woohoo, free t-shirt! Yeah, that's in character. Like, I'm only gonna say it like that, makes no sense. Actually, this makes too much sense. If anything, it's more in character than half the other stuff I saw from Wayne. Julia hesitates to jump off of the mountain because she has no idea if these... Because instead of a glider, Chris gives them at the final part of the challenge squirrel suits to jump off of, which is just a funny idea, and they all look pretty cool. But when Caleb comes up, she does in fact jump off, and Caleb jumps up after her, and as she's kind of just flapping her arms, trying to stay on upflow, Caleb says, "Just glide your arms like this." And you might be thinking, why would you help her with that? He's like, well, I'm not gonna let her die. Okay, I know it's a finale, you gotta be more cutthroat, but that's a good move. I'm like, what? Am I gonna say I want Julia to die? No, I don't want Julia to die. You see, I didn't mention this, but I said there were like cons to each character I didn't care for, like Julia cheating, Wayne's random stupidity once he was found out that he had ulterior motives with Priya, and Wayne just being preposterously stupid throughout a lot of the game to a degree that I thought was just unrealistic, even by the show standards. Again, it doesn't ruin them, it's just the fatal flaws they have, but they're still very enjoyable characters despite all that. So, we see Wayne get, Wayne catapult across the gorge, and Raj and Bowie bicker a little bit about his methods, and because they're like, that gorge is too wide. You have to break a world record to get that. Well, records get broken all the time. So do bones. And then, well, first off, great line. And Raj is like, yeah, and candy canes, when you put them in your pocket, I just hate when they break. What are you talking about? Why is that like seeing them bicker? I mean, it's not mean bickering by any means, but it is one of those things where I'm just like, oh, now there's trouble in paradise. What the heck? It's fun. It's one of those things where it's like, I could actually see them bickering like this when they get married. Yeah, it's a when. I'm not calling it an if. Y'all gonna have a bright, happy future together. It's just gonna happen. And, Wayne does not, in fact, make it all the way across. However, he does land very far on the rope. It goes all the way down, and then catapults him up into the air very high. That actually kind of makes sense. I can see that happening. And it just team rockets to somewhere else on the island. We don't know where, though. Caleb and Julia continue to fight in the air. Julia double-crossed him at several points, and Caleb being like, oh, now it's on. At least 2 times in the challenge. Caleb, please tell me you're getting the picture faster than this. We see as they're fighting in the air that the campers who were just at the gorge are now at the finish line. Okay, I know the answer is cartoon logic, but I still kind of want to ask, how? How'd you get there so fast? Whatever. Caleb crashes Julia into a tree. She dupes him again. Yeah, he never learns. But Wayne catches up because he's in a squirrel suit now because he happened to land right at the spot on the mountain where those suits were. I'll buy it, sure. And apparently he says, I've got a lucky horseshoe up my butt. No, literally, I got kicked by a horse one time and my doctors were too scared to remove it. Also, it's like touching my brain. I'm like, I can't lie. That's actually very funny and it makes way too much sense. I mean, they kind of have like a zillion explanations for why Wayne is as stupid as he is. You could just say it's because he got hit by too many hockey pucks. You can keep it simple like that if you want it, but I like these varieties of explanations. It's almost like when the Joker gives different versions of his backstory because he likes it to be multiple choice. So, it's a really close finish between all of them, but it results in Wayne crashing into the dock, which sends Julia and Caleb flying away, and yep, Wayne wins the season. Which many found controversial because apparently they were like, no, it should have been either Caleb or Julia. They were more major players, to which I'm like, one, I like all his characters, so I can find a reason I'd like any of them to win. And 2, is this really that big of a problem? I mean, Owen was by no means a major strategic player in Season 1, and he's a fan favorite winner. I see some people wanted Beth to win in Season 2. I wouldn't have, but it is what it is. And I saw people complain about the whole cheating with Julia cheating thing, as well as the thing with Caleb and Priya getting too much screen time. So the fact that they got complaints later on struck me as a bit odd. But fans will be fans, and they'll be like, "Well, we want something a little bigger than this." So in some respects, this finale is a little controversial. And if y'all would have preferred a different winner, I get it. I am personally perfectly happy with Wayne winning. Maybe it would make more sense for Caleb to win. I don't know. I'm not gonna complain too much either way. Wayne gets the money. Caleb and Priya kiss. Julia is left with a mullet, which has gotten a lot of fan art made about it. And Chris announces the next season, which I so want to believe we're gonna get one of those. There's no formal announcement outside of that, but again, fingers crossed that we get more of that. And that concludes Total Drama Island 2024, and as of this vlog, the remainder of this franchise. Man, I love this season so much. I'm gonna be honest, I think it rivals Revenge of the Island as my favorite season of this show. Again, like when you have so many episodes where even the ones that are weaker are still really good, you got a great freaking season on your hands. And you just got a great freaking show. I love what they do with the comedy and like the strategy and combine together with these really diverse, unique, entertaining, freaking scrappy players like this. It's an absolute blast. It's why I began reviewing this show in the first place, because I have fond memories of it from my childhood. It really stuck with me. It helped me propel me even further to how much I love reality shows today. And yeah, it's been quite a ride going through those. All I can say is I am working on another Total Drama review for Total Drama World Tour. I've been taking a long time getting through that. But yeah, I got another one of those coming up sometime in the near future, so at least you'll still be hearing from me on the show for quite some time. And I'm so happy for everybody who tuned into all these, and I just want to wish y'all... I just want to wish everybody the best, and thank you so much for tuning in to all of these. Take care.